Hello and welcome to another episode of the Pig City Podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about Jalen Hurts. And let's start with my favorite Jalen Hurts quote from Jalen Hurts himself. He said, "I had a purpose before everybody had an opinion. And man, do so many people, including you, have an opinion about this man." My personal favorite quote about Jalen Hurts, not from him, is everyone can beat Jalen Hurts before they have to beat Jalen Hurts. It's as if he has broke everyone's brain. I'll try to be short with this somewhat, but people are going to sit here and say, Andy Reid, one of the greatest coaches of all time. Travis Kelce, one of the best tight ends of all time. Spags, Kansas City defensive coordinator, all-time great. Couldn't stop Jalen twice in the Super Bowl now. But yet Mahomes gets all the praise, as he should. This is not slander to other quarterbacks. I'm getting to a point. So stay with me. Don't get your feelings hurt if I call out a quarterback you think is amazing or better or your favorite quarterback. Joe Burrow, yes, who is great, misses the playoffs. But his praise for being so amazing and one of the best quarterbacks in the league. But no one mentions he has Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, now Chase Brown, two top receivers as well. That's never held against him. I mean, it shouldn't be, but people were clamoring he could have been the MVP only if his team made the playoffs. Something, by the way, Jalen Hurts has done all 4 years as a starter, never missed the playoffs as a starter in the NFL. But the point is, if the Bengals made the playoffs, that means they would have had to have done what, right? Won. So wins do matter. Regardless if it was solely Burrow's fault for losses, of course it wasn't, because, again, follow the logic here, he would have been MVP if they had made the playoffs, but it wasn't his fault they were losing, so why wasn't he MVP? Now, if you're watching this, you're saying he should have been. Okay, I'll at least concede that point to you. But the reason he was not, I'm telling you, is because his team did not win enough. Wins has to matter. And I understand. I could go on and on. It just literally makes no sense because, of course, it's not solely Jalen's fault that they're winning games either. It's a team game. But what's the most important part of any team, maybe of any sport, is the quarterback of an NFL team. I mean, last year, they had us, and I'll say yes, us, as you can clearly tell. I'm an Eagles fan, a Jalen Hurts fan, but they had us losing to the Commanders. Oh, no, they didn't. Go back and look. Go look at the analysts that were picking the Commanders to win. But even if you didn't, because that was a little more toward the Eagles' favor, the Super Bowl comes. Go back and check. Check yourself. Check your heart. Check your mind. Don't lie. Find some documentation. Put it in the comments. Show me how you proved that you didn't say Kansas City would win. You thought Kansas City was going to win the Super Bowl. And then instantly after the game, the same game they just picked Kansas City to win, the same game you just picked the Chiefs to win, the narrative suddenly changes to, oh, well, that's a super team. Then why didn't you pick them, you spineless cowards? Sorry. But what my point is, if this was such a dynamic super team, with this amazing roster, and there's so many quarterbacks, I've seen the list, this guy could have won with this roster, this guy could have won with this roster, you thought the Eagles wouldn't win with this roster? Is that what this is? You can't admit how wrong you were about Jalen, that you thought he was so bad, he was so trash, that the Eagles weren't going to win the Super Bowl because of him. Because now it's, he had nothing to do with it, he's okay, but it's really this roster. You thought he was so terrible that they were going to lose because of him? Is that what this is about? Did you forget that 2 years ago he was in the Super Bowl also? This notion he only succeeded this year. Well, what about whenever in the Super Bowl this year where Spags has to game plan to take out Saquon Barkley, so of course Jalen's going to be more free. Fair point. But again, 2 years ago he had Miles Sanders. Are we going to talk that Miles Sanders is an unfair cheat code, or is he also a system person? Make it make sense. Is it the system? Is it Saquon? Also, best year Saquon has had. So obviously the system benefits. That's not the point. But back to what I was saying. Jalen had 370 yards and 4 touchdowns. Yes, the year where he didn't have the all-time elite Saquon Barkley, the year where his defense wasn't number one. And I would say it's pretty fair to say his defense wasn't near as good in the Super Bowl a couple years ago when he had to duel with Mahomes. Yes, he lost, but I thought it's not about wins. I thought it's about numbers and stats. 370 total yards, 4 total touchdowns. He makes things not make sense to you because he's broken your brain. Now, Patrick Mahomes, let's hear what he had to say. I'll read the quote. If not, I'll put in the clip here at the end. But I want to read what he says. This is after winning the Super Bowl 2 years ago, facing a Jalen Hurts who was only in his second year as a starter for the record. Here's what Patrick Mahomes, who I think we might should trust his analysis of a quarterback more than yours or mine because he's better at it than we will ever be. But let's hear what he had to say, Patrick Mahomes. If there were any doubters left, there shouldn't be now. The way he stepped up on this stage, ran, threw the ball, whatever he took for his team to win. That was a special performance. I don't want him to get lost in the loss that they had. Even when we took the momentum that game and we went up 8 points in the fourth quarter, for him to respond and move his team right down the football field, running himself on the two-point conversion, that was a special performance by him. End quote. Now, did the Eagles win? No. But does it matter about just winning or not? Because you're telling me this year that wins matter more or less based on who's around you. Now, if Patrick Mahomes would have got up there and just talked about how the Eagles team that he saw in a quarterback, he felt the need to praise on a national stage after it being at the highest of heights. Again, Patrick Mahomes, I think we all agree, is probably 1-1 in the league. But if Jalen Hurts gets mentioned in the same breath, what? And now some of you are going to nitpick and say, oh, well, that's just about that specific performance. Okay. Now, how has it changed so much that the quarterback of the Super Bowl team was smart enough to recognize that the win or the loss is what mattered more? Okay, you don't agree with that point. We'll move on. How has that changed so much with the new Hurts narrative? And not realize how incredible Jalen was on the biggest stage. So, again, thank you to Mahomes, who, again, if we're being really honest, since Tyreek Hill left, let's look at the numbers. He hasn't really had the same boisterous numbers he did at one time. But you know what Mahomes does as well as anybody? What Mahomes does so well that people actually are already comparing him to all-time greats. Better than Montana. Better than Brady. On the same level as Brady. He's at least got to be in the conversation, right? And I'm pretty sure when you're discussing those, you're not bringing up just his passing numbers, his stats, his what does it matter if he doesn't run or not. You're bringing up what you do when you get to the biggest stage, how you get there and how you perform there, and if you win. It matters for everyone else except for Jalen. Now, is Jalen Hurts the beneficiary of a great team? A great wide receiver duo, a great O-line? Yes, of course. No one is saying Jalen Hurts has to overcome a lack of talent on this team. Nobody mentions that AJ and Saquon both came to this team after Jalen was here. Meaning, they both thought he could win at the highest level. Specifically, AJ, who wanted to be with Jalen Hurts specifically. Look it up. It's documented. They call each other instantly. After they win the Super Bowl, they said, we knew this was going to happen. They were best friends. But I guess we don't have to get into that. It doesn't matter if other great players want to play with you or not, because then you get discredited if you're Jalen Hurts. I guess hate him for having talented team. I don't even get it. Imagine you have this elite receiver wants to play with you. This running back who, yes, did Saquon come to the Eagles because of their system and their offensive line as well? Of course. Do you think Saquon is going to a division rival because he thinks this team isn't good enough to win? But you didn't think they were good enough to win. And now, well, Jalen's not even that good. I don't know. Do you think maybe, just maybe, a running back getting to play with a quarterback who also is in a run offense, who is a dual threat, might help him as well? I don't know, just a thought. No disrespect again to Saquon. Incredible, best in the league. It's crazy that you don't understand that you can't be great without the greatness of others. And that's why your team lost. It's just insane. He's getting more hate for winning a Super Bowl than anyone I've ever seen in my life. Not just winning the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure he was a Super Bowl MVP as well. But suddenly, that award doesn't really matter as much anymore either. In doing the very limited research, I think there was only 33 quarterbacks to win this in the history of the NFL. But his isn't important. Now to clarify, if you're one of the people that you've already been mad, you've already left your comment, reply back to yourself and let me know if you're in this group. If you just think, well, he should probably be fifth behind that elite grouping of Joe Burrow, who has at least beat Mahomes once and made it to the Super Bowl. Or you just think Lamar is better, he's an all-around playmaker, despite never making it past the AFC Championship game. Something Jalen has done twice now, obviously NFC, not AFC. Don't forget, also, he has a pretty dominant running back as well. Lamar does last year and still couldn't get it done. But maybe you think Josh Allen is just different. Even though he objectively had a worse year than Lamar in almost every single stat, he did win the MVP, right? Well, why? Because he won more games? Wins don't matter though, right? But regardless, if you're sitting here saying you would for sure rather have Burrow, you'd for sure rather have Lamar, you'd for sure rather have Josh, you'd for sure rather have Mahomes over Jalen. And that was the only take. Well, to be honest, I wouldn't even be making this video. You'd at least have logic. You'd at least have football watching knowledge, ability, because all of those guys, all four of them, are absolutely incredible. I'm not here because I'm seeing Jalen as the fifth quarterback in the NFL. I'm not trying to talk bad about them. I'm just stating some hypocrisy in how we view others. The criticism they get, specifically Allen and Lamar, is their inability to make it to win the big game. But when someone does, they don't get the credit they should deserve. Make it make sense. It's only because their team, back to the original point, they didn't win. Even though those guys are amazing, there's a lot of criticism of those players as well when they don't win. Moving on. If the narrative was simply that Jalen isn't better than those four, I wouldn't create so much anger or a passion with this argument. There wouldn't be so much buzz about it. But here's why, and I'll give those quarterbacks as well. I'll give them a ton of credit. But I want to give the media credit. Because I remember watching the Super Bowl. I remember sitting there just thinking, what will they say now? How incredible this team is, how it's truly been one of the best. I mean, this is going to be one of the best seasons we look back on. What a run they've had. Most points ever scored in the postseason. Blowout wins, conference championship. Blowout wins in the Super Bowl. It's going to be a strange, odd feeling as a Philly fan, I thought. Having the nation praise and talk so fondly of a team. I'm thinking this right after Jalen throws his beautiful dagger to Smitty. Again, he throws a deep ball better than anyone in the league. Oh, you don't think so? Look at your little numbers you want to look up for that if you want to really test your ball knowledge. Who throws a better deep ball than Jalen? But I guess that's only because he has good teammates, though, right? He can only run. He only gets 1 yard touchdowns. But he also has the best deep ball in the NFL. So he can't stand still in a pocket and make the throws you think he should. But we praise others for their dual threat ability. You see how dumb this sounds? Well, he just gets pushed in. Well, he has the best deep ball in the league as well. Again, credit to the media. I want to be serious for a second. They found a narrative in this superstar quarterback, I said what I said, who in 4 seasons as a starter made the playoffs all 4 times, made the Super Bowl twice, winning and being the MVP once. The narrative got changed to, is he even a top 10 quarterback? It's impressive. You got to give credit where it's due. Jared Goff, who, of course, you look at Jared Goff's team, he doesn't have any offensive weapons. Not at wide receiver, not at tight end, not at 2 running backs. They don't have a great offensive line. For sure not. Baker Mayfield, again, I'll admit, continues to be very good. Justin Herbert, who, while I am a fan of, he might be the greatest hypothetical quarterback we've ever seen. He's won so many hypothetical games and so many hypothetical awards. He's in the hypothetical Hall of Fame already. CJ Stroud, who I do believe in, had a great rookie year, even won a playoff game this year. Jaden Daniels, who had one of the best rookie seasons we've seen, even won a playoff game again. And then we saw what happened when he had to face a team that was far superior when it mattered most, not even hating on him for that. The point is, almost left one out. Jordan Love. These are all players I've seen. Again, Jordan Love, he has more turmoil and uncertainty at the wide receiver position. They don't know who the true one is, whatever. But I have seen legitimately certified NFL accounts from former NFL players, longtime NFL associated employees, numerous social media posts from all the sports content I follow, including today. I saw another one first thing this morning. It's like they can't get enough of it, they just want to put their list out. They want to show. And that's why this video is being made, because enough is enough. Because the disrespect has just gone too far. And before the season starts, I had to make sure I put this together. One last video of the offseason talking points. Divisional breakdowns start next week. And once the season starts, we'll be breaking down the games and discussing them and what we see from the past and the future as well. But I had to say this. And the last thing I'll say for now, I understand there's a natural hate that comes from masses whenever anybody's at the top. For example, I do think there are a ton of people that currently hate the Chiefs. And since we, as in the Eagles, have been winning a lot, 2 Super Bowls in the past 4 years, winning one of them, dominating, it's natural for casual fans of teams to literally hate us because they ain't us, right? That's how it happens. The only difference, everybody hates Kansas City, but we'll say, I hate the Chiefs, but you got to give respect. Mahomes is good. Somehow it's inverted of, Yeah, the Eagles are really good. Jalen Hurts, he's not really that good. He just can't get credit. I don't know. He's broken your brains. Is it because the Eagles are a great franchise right now? Is it because the Eagles are the worst fans that exist? Is it because he only talks in quotes? He says things that he is very concise. He doesn't get his emotions up. He's very calm. He's very poised. Is it because there's nothing to hate on him all as a person? So you have to give this arbitrary top 10 ranking. Is it because he has a fully female staff all around him? Well, no, that's not it. Well, it's got to be something random because I don't get it. Is it because players, former quarterbacks, or other players are jealous they never got to thrive because of this setup and they feel like, man, if I got this situation, that's a sad way to live your life. We've all done it, but if you're constantly daydreaming about what you would have done in someone else's shoes, you may forget to walk in your own. Is that the off season? Is it just that they need a talking point? I sincerely don't know, but what I do know is this: I love it. Keep doubting, keep hating. Watch Jalen keep succeeding. Don't give him the credit. See if he cares. I promise you, we, meaning the haters and lovers, care more than he does. He's focused on only one thing: winning. Not how he does it, not what the numbers look like, but winning. Hurts stated in the pain of losing the Super Bowl, he said it fueled his desire to win and it shaped his approach to the game. That the sole only focus now is to win. Perhaps, maybe, though, we should meet with him and tell him to let management know, hey, get rid of some of the talent on this team. Let me throw the ball when our team's up by double digits, and instead of being a good team player and running the clock out or having an 8+ minute drive to end the game, maybe we should just let me keep throwing the ball so I get more stats. And again, maybe, yeah, we want to ice the game and yeah, winning, blah, 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 but like we need better stats. Maybe don't hand the ball off to the best running back in the league because somehow it's been decided when a game based on outcomes of who has more points at the end of the game and the winner and loser matters, but it matters more about doing less with less than it matters about doing more with more. Well, not more in that way, unless, well, you get the point by now. Let me clarify that really quickly. We are so much more impressed, and I've been guilty of it as well, with people that do more with less than those that do more with more. But technically, they're doing less with less because they're not doing the things Jalen Hurts has done. Look at the list of players he's on with in their first 4 years, 2 Super Bowls and a Super Bowl MVP. I'm just saying, is he elite? Is he in your top 10? You'd rather have blank than him? Well, he's good, but blank is better. His 1 yard touchdowns aren't even impressive. Find new narratives. Jalen Hurts, winner. Cry about it.